Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing episode 6, the final episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obviously, this will involve spoilers, so if you haven't seen the last episode yet, or the series in general, I highly recommend watching it first before you watch this video. I'm not sure why you watch the review before you watch the last episode of the season, or the series, really, but please don't do that. Don't want anything to get spoiled for you. Overall, really loved the last episode. Some really cool elements to it. So I'm just going to touch on what I liked. Really no major complaints. There was one small thing I wasn't super crazy about, but I'll get to that after I touch on first the positives I liked. So first, the overall story arc of the season and episode 6 in general, enjoyed. So I just wanted to get that out there front before I start touching on specific elements of the episode. So first off, the showdown between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader / Anakin, really awesome. Lightsaber fight was amazing. The setting was really cool. How both used the elements in the Force as a part of the fight. Really enjoyed that aspect of it. Super epic showdown. I was slightly confused when Vader / Anakin buried Obi-Wan and just assumed like, oh, that's it, he's dead, and just started walking away, being like, as a Jedi / Sith, you should know. And that probably didn't kill me. You need to make sure, and I just, as much as Darth Vader hated Obi-Wan, I felt like he would actually want to see the body, so I didn't feel that part was realistic to the character, so I was glad that is not how Kenobi ended up getting away from Vader, that Kenobi's able to escape and actually continue the showdown and then, gain the upper hand on Vader, or basically unmask him. That part was awesome when, a few seconds before that, when it started to make clear, like, I think they're maybe going to show some of Anakin's face in the costume and have that type of showdown between him and Kenobi. When they did it, that was amazing. Love the line, I know this is not specific, where basically Anakin tells Obi-Wan that you didn't kill Anakin, I killed Anakin, which obviously then ties in the movies when Obi-Wan tells Luke that Anakin killed his father. Darth Vader killed his father. I love that dialogue between them two at the fight where, Obi-Wan had basically used Darth Vader's, I wanted to say costume, but it's not really a costume, his attire, his suit against him, and began breaking that down and showing that was his weakness. And in some ways, by becoming Vader, he'd actually become weaker because he was no longer just a man. He's become man and machine. And the dark side does have its limits. I think Obi-Wan was showing it there. And the fact that, Obi-Wan at that point felt like, Anakin's already dead. I'm good, and just walked away. Obviously, everything would have ended up, I don't know, it's hard to say, would it ended up better or worse for the universe if Obi-Wan had killed Vader there, because obviously you stop all the evil things Vader does, but then you end his arc of playing a key role in killing the Emperor. So can the Empire fall without Vader still being alive? That would be something we can debate now that this series is over. I love the little add-on, and it did feel a little out of place, but I understand why they did it, where you have the interaction between Vader and the Emperor, because obviously with as much passion that Vader had built up, I think they had to give you a reason, like, why wasn't Vader just obsessively searching for Kenobi after this? Why when we come along to A New Hope, he basically seemed like he wasn't looking for him, and then Kenobi popped up, and that kind of reignited that passion. So that scene with Vader and the Emperor was very key, where the Emperor basically said, you need to serve me and the Empire, and forget Kenobi. I apologize for my voice. My sinuses are killing me this morning. Some allergies, so I apologize for that. But the Emperor basically reining Vader in, you need to serve me. I am your master, and you cannot be distracted by this obsession with Kenobi. You need to focus on what I want you to do. And that was, again, it felt a little out of place to me in the flow of the episode, but I think it was needed just to explain why Vader acted the way he did after the events of Kenobi, leading to A New Hope. So that leads to the events on Tatooine, and there are elements of that I like, parts I wasn't as crazy about. I did like how they showed that Reva is still really dealing with her injuries, and she's nowhere near 100%. In fact, she seems to be barely able to function, and that sets up how it's plausible that Luke is able to be protected for a little bit without Obi-Wan being there with just lasers and guns and stuff like that. So I did like that they worked that in, because so many times with movies or shows like this, somebody's dramatically injured, and in the next episode it's like, oh, they're 100% better now. And so I'm glad they still incorporated her injury as a part of that. I did like her arc, where she's clearly, Obi-Wan kind of planted the seeds there in the last episode. So when she does get to Luke and she has that showdown, and she has the opportunity to kill him, and then she basically, through flashbacks and everything that Kenobi has said to her, realizes, like, in my quest to kill Anakin / Vader, I've basically become him, and I'm choosing not to follow that path. The part of it I didn't really, wasn't a super big fan of, because I wanted a little bit more closure of the story, is basically when she comes back, she gives Luke back, and then, her and Kenobi have that little interaction, and then basically that's it, I thought initially she was going, like, now that her quest for revenge was over, and that element of the dark side that was keeping her alive, that desire for revenge was gone, that maybe she would collapse and die there in Kenobi's arms. But she didn't. She seems to still be alive, and so I'm not sure if I'm super crazy with that idea. Now that she's out there and they didn't give closure to that, I don't know if we'll see her in anything else, maybe books, comics, stuff like that. But I think I would have liked a little bit more closure with her storyline, either ending in her death or some sort of parting wisdom from Obi-Wan to, like, oh, this is going to be her path post Obi-Wan, instead of really a lot of unknowns. I love that they did give Obi-Wan a little interaction with Leia to kind of say goodbye, and with Bail Organa as well and stuff. I loved everything with Alderaan. Leia was probably the best part of the series, so I'm glad they did give her some elements in the last episode, although this episode did not really involve her that much. I'm glad they gave her and Obi-Wan kind of a chance to say goodbye, and really love that part. Loved where you get to see her personality shaping in more to the Leia we know, with, like, the outfit she chooses and stuff like that. Really loved that part of it. Loved we got to see a little bit of Obi-Wan and Luke. I still was expecting a little bit more Luke in this episode. I'm glad they gave us a little bit of it. But in some ways it makes sense, because Obi-Wan and Luke are, to Luke, by New Hope, Obi-Wan's just a mysterious stranger. So I guess it does make sense that you didn't have a whole lot of interaction with him. So it makes sense. It's one of those things that makes sense, but I still would have liked to see it, just because I think it'd be a really cool moment, but it completely makes sense. Of course, then the episode ends, and you have Obi-Wan finally getting to see the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon. And this is the part I wasn't super crazy with. It's clear the episode was wrapping up. I was like, I'm really surprised they didn't do this Force Ghost that everybody was anticipating. And then it is. And instead of having, like, a conversation or more of a parting bit of wisdom, and it's more like, hey, we have a while to go, and that was it. So it almost felt like with just that little bit, I'd almost rather just sing the Force Ghost and no dialogue. Because it just seemed like that one sentence was just went crazy. Either show them and no dialogue, or give us a little bit more of a conversation there. So that was the part I wasn't super crazy about. But overall, really loved episode 6. Loved this season. Disappointed it's over, but I'm grateful for what we got. So let me know what you thought about episode 6 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, what you thought about the series in general, what you liked, what you loved, what you didn't like, maybe what you hated, because I know overall it seems like most people really are enjoying the series, but I do know some people are not. So just let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts were on the series in general. I'm very curious to see what everybody has to say. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. And overall, I hope you enjoyed Kenobi as much as I did, because I really love the series. So I'll see you the next time, and may the Force be with you.